Hi, I'm Charlie DeShulo. I'm with Aviad today. He's a local producer from the Boston, Massachusetts area. And I have a few questions for you. So, how long have you been making beats?
So it started around the time that COVID started to spike at first. It was something that I was getting interested in. And this kind of happened like over a long course of time. I was interested in music and I've been playing the piano for probably 8 years and the violin for six. I'm part of the school orchestra now. But so like that interest kind of shaped into interest in music production around that time as something to kind of do for my house. And so like 2 years of doing this, I would say.
Nice, nice. Do you still play the violin and the piano?
Yeah.
Have you decided to pick up any other instruments during COVID, or was it just mostly beat making?
No, just beat making. And I think that was a really good choice.
Nice, man. Nice. Are there any producers that really stick out to you? Like any real inspirations for you?
I think Kanye West and Tyler, the Creator, have always been my favorite producers, but I've been getting more into Madlib and Monte Booker. I think, and of course, I've been a really big fan of Filthy's production with Whole Lotta Red and the way that he's shaping that genre of trap right now.
So, have you worked with any local artists like in the Boston area?
Yeah, I've worked with one so far, Zola Simone. We did like an R&B kind of track, but right now I'm trying to work with Van Buren Records, and some of the members follow me already, so I have that connection set up. Just need to get the beats ready.
If you don't mind me asking, who are some of the artists on that record label?
So there's Saint Leor, there's Felix. Those are just the two that come to my mind right now.
Do artists usually reach out to you, or do you reach out to them? Or since you are working with this label, is that like exclusive?
I'm not like working with the label. They kind of have a kind of band and it's called Van Buren Records, but I'm not working with the label's management or anything. It's usually direct to the artist. And now that I've got this kind of status on TikTok, I can also like sometimes the artist will reach out to me, like Quen Blackwell, if you know who she is. She's like working on an album now and she just reached out to me from a video that she saw. She has like 8 million followers.
So have you ever seen anyone live before? Have you seen any of these artists that you work with?
No, I've never been in a studio setting, which is something
Really?
I'm trying to do this year. It's all just from this room on my laptop. Sometimes even like in the school library or something, like I'll just be making beats on my AirPods and I'll send them out to an artist.
That's actually like kind of incredible. So if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? You do seem on the younger side.
Yeah, I'm 16.
How does your age impact you in the music industry?
Before, I think it was a more central part of my image that I was building was like, I'm a 15-year, well, now I'm 16, but back then it was like, I'm a 15-year-old producer and I'm making this music. I still do it sometimes, like when I'm marketing on TikTok, for example, I'm trying to get my name out there and get that kind of recognition. What I've realized about that tactic is that for myself, when I look back at it and I look at the comments and stuff, what I start to realize is that maybe it's not good to make it such a big part of my image just for myself, like the way I look at what I'm doing, because it sets the bar a lot lower. So if I'm just trying to do music in general and not music as a 16-year-old, then I think I should remove that label from what I'm doing.
Have you talked to like artists about your age? I'm assuming you have, sort of like the artists that you collaborate with. I'm assuming they know that you are 16 years old. Is there like credibility lost because you are so young, or is there sort of like a still mutual respect?
I think it's mutual respect on a like even on a higher level because of my age. Like I remember, I don't know if the people listening would know, but Day Day, he produced a lot of Saba's album, and I sent him some chopped up samples for him to use in his beats and therefore like get the placements. It's a thing that like producers do in the industry to get further, like before they can just send beats to artists. So after I sent them, my friend sent me one of Day Day's tweets and it was like, I just got the hardest loops from a 15-year-old. This just shows like age doesn't really mean anything in the industry. And I think that just shows like everything you need to see.
Do your friends and family know about your production, and do they approve?
So my family does know. My mom is like my biggest fan for all of this. A lot of my cousins know. My cousin was actually the one who got me FL Studio in the first place for a birthday present. So he did it just at the right time. It was like January 27th, and then the COVID restrictions started ramping up even more, and then I had so much time just at home to myself. It was the perfect timing for him to get that for me. Of course, like despite all the unfortunate events that were happening at the time. So my family does know, and my friends, for the most part, all know like the Instagram that I give to most people is the same Instagram that I use for my music. So they see that like everything that I'm doing on there.
So what is next for you? Do you have any big exciting projects that you would like to talk about?
So right now, of course, like I made my last album, which was 7 songs, and it was kind of cohesive, but I think there were some moments where that kind of fell apart. So my next goal with my next album, I don't have that much of a plan right now, but I do want it to be like more cohesive and have a central concept that I'm going to stick to for the whole duration. And then I'm also working with a lot of other artists right now. Like I think there are about 15 songs right now that are just
Wow.
out there that I've worked on, and are going to come out under other artist names soon enough, like probably within the next year.
Would you ever expand into other genres besides hip hop, or are you just going to stay in the hip hop genre?
I think one of the most fun things that I've been experimenting with is using different sounds of different genres that I've been exposed to, like jazz, for example, in my song Stars in the Sky, or I like sampled some ambient music in my song Promises, and I can kind of use my sampling technique to bring different genres into hip hop. But I would expand into like R&B, for example, or something that's more in that lane, like, and then maybe just branch out even further from there.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that would be fantastic. I mean, your production doesn't just appeal to hip hop, it appeals to really a lot of other genres. So, out of all the songs that you have produced, or in the ones that you are producing right now, is there a favorite of yours and why?
I think in my past work, it has to be Promises just because of the lyrical content and also the production. It's just so many layers. And I actually decided over my last spring break, I made this kind of orchestral version that I'm planning to release eventually. Like all using the instruments of an orchestra, kind of inspired by my role as a first violinist in my school orchestra and the role that's played on my music. So that's like just the way that it's so layered, and then my favorite colors vocals into that. It's got to be my favorite.
Lastly, in 5 years, where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself continuing to do music?
I think I would love to continue doing music, but in 5 years I need to be able to like know what I'm gonna do to get an income in the first place. So I might have to like get a separate job just because producing in general doesn't pay very well. And like from however many streams I've got, like 500,000 streams, it's still not that much that I'm getting from Spotify despite all of that. I'll figure out like a different job, and then I'll continue to do it on the side if I can.
You just listened to an exclusive interview with the local Boston producer, Aviad. You can follow him on any of his social medias linked in the description below. If you enjoyed the interview, please like, subscribe, and comment. You can even follow me on Instagram, which is also linked in the description below. I will be releasing more interviews in the very near future with local and current rappers. Or you can check me out on 91.5 WUML Lowell on Tuesdays, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you.